complete team effort. Guys battled all week long, fought throughout this ball game, played for 60 minutes, played the right way.
It's huge. It's exactly what we needed. I mean, that was Cowboy football. That was to our expectations and our standards.
Big win. All three phases had huge roles into it, and that was us. And it's good to see us play that way and get some confidence going.
Man, super excited. It's like a weight lifted off of us. Our hopes to push into postseason are still alive, but we still have to take it one game at a time, one day at a time, one practice at a time. So we just have to keep grinding this out. Like I said, we showed up today.
It is a victory weekend for Cowboys and Cowboys fans everywhere because Thursday Night Football 38-14 over the Redskins, division rival. Cowboys even that record back out to 6-6. It's good to talk about a win today, right?
We got some good vibes.
Yeah. Good vibes going on. So Dave gets the honors of kicking it off today.
Yeah, Linz, well, the fun thing about having a job sharing your opinions is that sometimes those opinions look really, really stupid. I said on this show last week, thought the Cowboys were mailing their season in. Well, they just mailed me a big can of Shut Up juice, which I will happily drink. I got the message, guys.
Cowboys got their 70th win on Thursday Night Football against the Washington Redskins, which sounds awesome, but it's interesting to note that that is the most wins against any opponent they've ever faced.
Alfred Morris said it best. He said the Cowboys showed up today. Well, it was a good day for the rookies to show up because Taco, Cheeto, and Switzer all stepped up big and contributed big in that win.
The rookies.
Taco and Cheeto. I'm getting hungry right now.
I know.
Okay, fact or fiction? We've got some fun ones today. Looking back, beating the Redskins, they needed that after the whole last month.
Oh,
that's the biggest fact I could ever think of.
They did need that, Lindsay. Pregame show, we got to talk to Doug Free, Lindsay's best friend, and he said, hey, these guys just need to do what they've been doing because they've gotten to here before. So if they did that, they'd get the win. And we just saw that these rookies finally said, hey, we are a good rookie class. We'll step up. So I think it was all around just what we all needed.
No telling where the season goes from here, but, people talk about tanking, fans talk about draft status. These guys still have a job to do. They don't want to lose out over the course of 5 weeks. It feels good to get a game like that, regardless of what it means down the stretch of the season.
Fact or fiction, going into that game, the Cowboys coaches said they were going to make some switches in the secondary. Cheeto and Kayvon Frazier earned starting spots, Manny.
Yeah, I got to say fact out the gate. First off, Cheeto, he spoke for itself, his play yesterday. You saw that play right there, 3 PBUs, and he really just stepped up in a major way. Beyond that, Kayvon, open field tackles. When you talk about a safety making tackles, open field, one of the hardest things to do. Couple that with the fact that Byron Jones hasn't looked great as of late. They earned starting roles.
Well, and I have to say fact on this as well, in the sense that we also saw Anthony Brown get a little motivation with the interception. We've seen Marinelli do this before. He benches guys who he thinks just need a little bit more fire under them. Anthony Brown did that with the pick, and we were happy to see him have that success.
If the offensive line continues to play like they did on Thursday Night Football, they can win out. Fact or fiction?
I'll call it fact, a combination of things. Okay, obviously the offensive line's a big part of that. If the running game can perform like that, 182 yards, yeah, they can beat the rest of these teams on the schedule. The other thing is, this is not a schedule worth being afraid of down the final 4 games of the season. I mean, you've got a hapless Giants team, you've got a struggling Raiders team, you get the Seahawks at home, and you've got an Eagles team that might not have anything to play for by the end of the year. So, yeah, if you're playing like that, this is a winnable month of football.
I'll keep it quick and easy. I'm just going to say fact because yesterday the Cowboys still blew that team out, or when that game occurred, they still blew them out, but rather it wasn't just because of Dak's phenomenal performance. Ultimately, it was because of the running game.
Good fact or fictions right there. No one knows better than Taylor Stern that social media is no fun when you're not winning.
No.
For 3 weeks in a row, the fans were so angry, but now there's good things to talk
They were.
about.
I just mentioned the pregame show. We were standing there at the pregame show, and I noticed the Make-A-Wish children are right next to us as we're shooting. And I was like, that kid is holding Des Bryant's cleats. So we run over, we get this picture, we share it on Twitter, and it pretty much exploded because it was really cool to see. He just handed his cleats right off his body, then just goes out and acts like no big deal, running around in socks. Yeah. Very special for Darren. And then, of course, Lindsay knows we always have our graphics ready to go. Well, we have had this graphic ready for you, Des Bryant, for a while now, and you did it last night. He is the all-time franchise leader in receiving touchdowns. Quite an accomplishment. So 72. Can you even believe that? So it was very exciting to see, and finally got to use those graphics. Now, we all have siblings here, and to see your siblings have success is one of the most exciting things in life.
Better.
Now, imagine if they were on the same football team as you, and they just scored a major touchdown. Jalen Smith runs off the bench. Of course, he's a defensive player, and he gives his brother, Rod, a huge celebration.
How
and just
happy he looked.
Oh, he's so happy. They are each other's biggest fans, so that was very cool to see.
That's once in a lifetime. That's all.
Now, guys, we haven't seen much of this guy, but Justin March-Lillard put on the national stage last night on Jimmy Fallon, as well as Trey Williams, who just got back here this week.
They do it to him.
Yeah.
They do it to him.
Joe Looney, your face, it always lends itself to a good narrative.
Joe would love that.
Taco. Outside the bun, I like that. His parents are great,
That's
but
pretty fitting.
It was pretty fun. Now, guys, you saw the Cowboys get that win in their color rush jerseys. Well, the Redskins were not going to do the same. Maybe that was a curse they didn't even know about. Okay, so they're wearing red uniforms last night. They were supposed to be wearing those mustard yellow uniforms.
I'm gonna do the hot take here and say I don't think the yellow ones look bad.
They look bad on the field.
That's the hot take.
I would have liked
Because they're trash.
Yeah.
So many
They
flags.
are the opposite of fire. Ice cold, but icy is kind of a good thing, right?
You're right. They're just.
I think it would have been. It would have been interesting. Let's put it that way.
Yes. Now, guys, I'm sure you are all seeing this and very confused as I was. 13 men on the field. How does that even happen?
Look,
Manny?
Taylor, when you can't stop the run with 11.
You gotta add 2 more guys.
Add a couple more.
And just hope no one sees.
And hope nobody knows.
Sound logic to me.
In front of
right
90,000,
there.
just hope you get away with it.
In the red zone.
Prime
Exactly.
time.
Yeah.
No big deal. Well, Tay has been getting into the talk of the town, but also a big cause going around here for the Cowboys, and we are going to show you all about it next on Cover 4, presented by JCPenney. These cleats mean much more than just gear.
Cowboys Cover 4 is brought to you by AT&T, mobilizing your world, Academy, the official sporting goods retailer of the Dallas Cowboys, and by NFL Game Pass. You'll never miss a game again. Enjoy full access to coaches' films and game replays from Week 1 to the Super Bowl. Subscribe at DallasCowboys.com/Game Pass.
Cover 4 presented by JCPenney. We've been really busy. We've had 3 games in the span of 12 days, so many shows, but also it was a big night on Thursday night because of the national attention for the My Cause, My Cleats campaign.
Absolutely, Lindsay. For the past month, the Cowboys and the Cowboys organization have been planning their excitement around the My Cause, My Cleats. Of course, it's the second year, but 18 Cowboys were participating in Thursday Night Football's event, showing off causes that mean the most to them. So check it out.
My cause is Faith Fight Finish Foundation,
the Waterboy Foundation, Boys and Girls Club in the greater Metroplex area.
32 Cares.
It's Travis Frederick's Blocking Out Hunger Foundation.
The Bryce Butler Reading Challenge.
Crutchfield-Jacobson disease.
Anti-bullying through Character Playbook. U.S. Army.
The Salvation Army.
The Boys and Girls Club.
Fraser Cares.
The Special Olympics. The Cure starts now.
My cause is putting a stop to domestic violence.
I'm right here. Brian's over here. Brian's on me.
Yeah, boy.
Put them backwards, seriously? Like, hey, that's my shoe. That did put it backwards. Unlaced very nicely. Put your hand out my pocket.
I can't get my feet in here.
I'm glad someone could.
I can't get my feet in here.
And if just one person Googles The Cure Starts Now or Team Brock and realizes what we're about, it's creating more awareness that kids can get cancer, they can get brain cancer, and there is no cure.
It's an honor, you know, to be able to represent that cause, to be able to represent Brock, doing what I've always enjoyed, and like I said, the main thing, just people seeing it, raising awareness. If anything, people ask questions about it to find out more.
Just even seeing the shoes themselves, I started to get tear up. I told Chris it was bittersweet, like you're so excited to see the brand, and then it's sad that, and honestly, I wish Brock could have seen the shoes.
I'd just seen rough sketches of them, you know, throughout the weeks, and knew what I had submitted, pictures and words and sayings and slogans and whatnot, but they turned out perfect. I wouldn't change anything about it. You know, the Cause My Cleats is just getting awareness out about whatever the cause is, and just help promote it, and hopefully, if it's funding, if it's awareness, finding cures, whatever, if it's all of it, hopefully something can come of it.
I love that the NFL let them change up their uniform, right?
Finally, finally. That was
Manny missed out.
one of the few dope things the NFL has done.
Very rarely.
Hey, the celebrations have been pretty awesome on Turn Up Tuesday,
That's true. Okay, we've got 2 things this year, and we've got top 5 things coming up next after the break. A lot of good things that we are going to discuss coming up for the Giants.
It's meant everything. Roger sent me a text and told me about him getting booed, and if that doesn't show you right there this business, then it is what it is. So I mean, that was great to hear from him and Troy, and just the guys who have been through it, and it was great for me.
What did Troy tell you?
I mean, the same thing is just keep going, keep putting your head forward, and just keep working. That's the only thing you really can do. The talk's gonna be there, good or bad. So I mean, I'm thankful for both of those guys.
Anybody get a cool text this week for encouragement?
Troy and Roger didn't really, reach out to me.
Roger's our good friend, Linz. You know, he reached out to you.
Yeah, that's true. We keep up with Roger, so
Raj.
don't worry about it. We have top 5 reasons that the Cowboys will make the playoffs. Yes, you heard us right. I know your spirits are high, so we're going to capitalize on that right now. First things first, top 5 reason, number 1, they get 10 days of rest. They got that extra little mini bye weekend in there. Is that a big deal, Manny?
I think it's a bigger deal, not necessarily for the Cowboys, but the Giants. Think of how much the Giants have self-destructed in a week. Now, give the Giants 10 more days. Who knows who's going to be playing quarterback? Who knows who's still going to be on that roster? Plus, with Dak and the hand injury, obviously that helps.
I hear what you're saying, but yeah, I mean, the Cowboys have injured guys. They got Lyle Collins and Tyron Smith need some time off. Yep. Orlando Scandrick needs some time off after what we heard from that game. Dak Prescott's hand is the size of a balloon. Yeah, these guys could use a little extra downtime. It's going to be good for them.
Okay, next up, number 2, Sean Lee and Ezekiel Elliott back on the horizon.
Oh, I just feel the excitement in the air for Cowboys Nation. Sean Lee, he is such a commander on that roster. I mean, everyone had been giving out the stats about, okay, when Zeke and Sean Lee are both not in the game, this team cannot win. They showed us wrong on Thursday Night Football, but let's keep it going. Sean Lee can come back sooner than Zeke, but Christmas will be so sweet with Ezekiel Elliott back.
Did that rhyme?
I'm a poet.
That might have rhymed.
I see, and you didn't even know it.
Yeah.
Number 3, Atlanta's remaining opponents are 37-8.
Yeah, you look at Atlanta's remaining schedule, and if I'm not mistaken, you got the Saints twice, you got the Vikings Sunday, and then you have another tough opponent in the Panthers, I believe, who they end the season with. When you look at that schedule, that's truly daunting regardless of who you're talking about. They should for sure, they won't be the favorites in at least 4 of those matchups.
Cowboys need them to go 2-3 probably. That's what you're looking at. Not impossible, but it's going to be something to watch. Got to keep an eye on the Falcons.
Seattle is pretty much in the same boat. That's reason number 4. They've got a tough remaining schedule.
Oh, Seattle does it, but you know, Dave, we were talking about some of these teams that have to end out good. I kind of hope the Seattle Seahawks don't go on one of their Pete Carroll runs.
Good point. Well, the nice thing for the Cowboys is that they get to play them.
Exactly.
You need them to lose 2. They're 7-4. They got a couple games on the Cowboys, but you get to play them. So you got that working in your favor. If you can beat them on Christmas Eve, there's no telling how it shakes out.
The final one, Week 17, we were discussing before the show. Will the Eagles try to keep the Cowboys out of the playoffs, or will they just say, hey, we're doing what the Cowboys did last year. Nobody's playing.
You know, Dave asked me a comical question offset. If you could keep the Cowboys out the playoffs as the Eagles, would you do it? I said absolutely not. If you're the Eagles, they're rolling right now. Who knows if they'll still be rolling? They should have everything locked up. They'll rest their starters. Cowboys will definitely benefit from that because it should be an easy W.
I'm telling you right now, if I were in that situation, like if the Eagles are clawing for a playoff spot and I have a chance to keep rolling and knock them out, I would try. I would do that. I think that's what division rivalries are all about.
They are sitting way too high. Coming up next, we love Thursday night games because we finally get to watch college football, we get to watch NFL football, and the slate of games this weekend are going to be big. We're going to do some predictions next. Week 13, the Cowboys' work is done, but we talked about in the last segment what these teams are going to have to do and who needs to lose. We're going to take a look at some of these matchups. Here is our playoff picture for now in the NFC East. Look around the league. What do we got first? What do you guys think about this?
Well, yeah, there's no doubt that the Eagles are just sitting there very secure. I know that they wanted on Thursday night the Redskins to get that victory because they could have secured this NFC East, but you got to wait a little longer. Now, we're looking into the Vikings, who just seem to be on a roll with Case Keenum. Who would have seen that at the beginning of the year? And the Saints, Dave.
Hey, you're absolutely right. But the thing, to go back to your point, the thing I'm looking at is the Eagles, honestly, because with the Redskins losing, they can clinch the NFC East on Sunday night with a win against Seattle. Cowboys want Seattle losing.
Vikings at Falcons. We got to keep our eye on this.
Yeah, this is a big matchup. Obviously, Cowboys fans, you want the Vikings to win. Why? Because not only are the Falcons 7-4, they also have the tiebreaker over the Cowboys. So like Dave was talking about earlier, you really need the Falcons to end up at 9-7, not just 10-6. Because 2 10-6 teams, the Falcons take it.
I mean, 7-9 works too. They don't have to go 9-7. They can lose out if they want to. But yeah, they have that tiebreaker. That's the most important thing in determining wild card pecking order. You need them to lose some games. Vikings are on a roll. Vikings are trying to clinch their division too. This could be a big one.
Panthers at Saints. What does this one do for you guys?
Well, I mean, Cam Newton, he always seems to have the magic when he has it, but he has a lot of injuries on that team that he's dealing with. And the Saints, guys, they want to bounce back from the win or the loss against the Rams. Of course, that is a good Rams team, so they shouldn't feel too sad about this, but they need this win against the Panthers to stay at the top of their division.
I don't know how much this one really affects the Cowboys right off the bat, because basically you're talking about winning the NFC South right here. One of these teams is going to win the NFC South. The other one's going to be in a wild card hunt. Unfortunately, the Cowboys don't play either one of them. This one's much less in their hands. The Falcons are the one that...
The only thing I'll say on this, Dave, is whichever team loses this game, you want to keep losing. You don't want the team to lose this game backdoor and then win the next week. Whichever team loses this game, just hope they keep losing, Cowboys.
Exactly.
This is the one I'm most excited to watch. Eagles, Seahawks.
I jumped the gun earlier, but yeah, I mean, no, but this is honestly big because the Eagles now have extra motivation. Not that they didn't, but they don't have the division in hand yet. That gives them all the more motivation to go up to Seattle and win this game. A Seahawks loss, like we said, Cowboys play them in a few weeks. Seattle loss right here would be huge. Even though you don't want, I mean, I know as a Cowboys fan, you don't want the Eagles to win games.
Be selfish, Cowboys fans.
You do want that right now.
Well, and Carson Wentz, I mean, no doubt, he has done enough to prove that he is a front runner in the MVP race. But if you can go up and beat the 12th man on Sunday Night Football, we will have lots of respect for you.
The Wentz wagon will be coming apart.
It will be.
Nice.
It'll be breaking down. Okay, we're going to take a quick break. Final thoughts, closing remarks, and looking ahead. Back in a few.
Cowboys Cover 4 was brought to you by AT&T. Mobilizing your world. SWBC Mortgage. Prepare to win. Call SWBC for all your insurance needs. And by the Dallas Cowboys Football Club. Want to tour AT&T Stadium? For more information, call 817-892-TOUR or visit dallascowboys.com/tours.
The Manny Minute. Now look, I am by no means a Giants fan. I'm by no means an Eli Manning fan, but I am a fan of greatness, and Eli is one of the greatest quarterbacks in Giants history. 2 Super Bowl MVPs. Giants, Ben McAdoo, what are you doing? You've really reached an all-time low. I was thinking about it. This year, a 2016 Pro Bowler for the Giants has walked out. A 2017 Pro Bowler for the Giants has been suspended. And now Eli, your two-time MVP, benched for Geno Smith? I just don't get it.
I think we're all with you on this one. Now that it's Giants week, I'm real excited to go in on Ben McAdoo. But for now, we have to sound off. Does Dak have his mojo back after Thursday night football? Was that enough?
It certainly seems like it. You know, we've seen him in that post-game press conference. The bow tie is tied. The jacket is nice. It might be one of our best looks we've seen from him. But yes, you know, what he was able to do last night with the run game going, with the passing game going, I think he shut down a lot of haters on Thursday night. It was pretty great to see.
Here's the thing. I don't know that Dak Prescott ever lost his mojo. Like, he's always been a confident guy. And honestly, the Cowboys only threw for 100 yards. Like, their passing game did not look great in that game. Like, it still has its problems. He was fighting with an injured hand. I think he had to work against that. The offense, ultimately, in my opinion, doesn't look vastly better than it has. In terms of Dak Prescott, though, he's always been a confident guy. He's always been a guy that I trusted to find a way. He managed to do that despite some adverse circumstances. I think that says a lot.
All right, we are wrapping it up. Let's get some final thoughts. Manny, you are first as we head to OT.
Thinking about OT, as far as Dak's mojo, I can't necessarily say that it's back because 11 for 22, it wasn't that impressive, but what was impressive, the running game and Alfred Morris, over 100 yards. First time a non-Ezekiel Elliott Cowboy running back has done that since 2015.
Hey guys, I think we've answered this throughout this week, but Jason Witten is not going to Tennessee. He's not going to go coach. He's just going to score touchdowns on Thursday Night Football for a while now.
I don't know what's going to happen with the rest of the season. I don't know if the Cowboys make the playoffs, but I do know, Cowboys, now you're in New York. I think you're going where dreams are made of. There's nothing you can't do. Now you're in New York. So let's try to get a win here against these hapless Giants.
Was that Alicia?
Yeah, it sure was.
A little Alicia Keys?
You're going to sound like her.
Big lights will inspire them. I believe that. I really do.
Empire State of Mind. Empire State of Mind.
Oh, I'm so happy. It's Giants week. We will see you back for much more Cover 4 presented by JCPenney next week.